أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من أمزه ونفخه ونفثه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. All praises are due to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We adore Him, we glorify His names. I bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. He has neither the companion nor associates. I beseech Allah to shower His compassion and benediction on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is also his companions and the majority of the day of recompense. Without wasting our precious time, all protocols are duly observed. I would like to go to the topic being given to discuss because we have a lot of things to say, but I have just 45 minutes. I will try to summarize the lecture within the time given. Number one, the topic reads, finding a befitting shoe or your own befitting shoe. What do we really mean by this? I know I'm speaking with the intellectuals. The people here, they are graduates and they are mature people. They are people who understand. The summary of the lecture is nothing than spouse selection. Are we together? How do you find your own befitting shoe? For those who have even married, probably you are still planning to marry the second wife. You know, in Islam, sincerely, Islam is a natural religion. We are not deceptive in Islam. The way some people that are, adherents of other so-called religions, the way they normally deceive their followers. You can see a lot of cases on the internet where some of their pastors, they will claim that they are legally married to only one wife, but there will be a lot of concubines outside. If that is not even clear, we know the former Attorney General of the Federation, Bola Age. We know Bola Age. He claimed that he married legally to only one wife. Yes or no? When Bola Age died, you know what happened? We all read it in news. One of his wives was staying in Ibadan around this Sawmill Iwo Road side. If you see the children, those wives, will I call them wives or concubines or what have you? If you see the children they gave birth to for Bola Age, sincerely they really took after him. They resembled him completely. One will not even need DNA test or any other test. You will know that really these are children of Bola Age. You know one pastor there in Lagos too, whose wife accused publicly that apart from claiming that he married only one wife, he has a lot of other wives. Not only wives, concubines, and people that he will even, he will have illegal sexual relationships with them. The wife even accused him publicly, and he said he should even come and meet her in the court of law, which I don't think he was even able to do that. Probably you still want to marry second, third, fourth wife, but I know majority of people here, they are bachelors and spinsters. We still need to know, how do you select your own spouse, your own wife to be your own husband, your fiancé and fiancée, the way you normally call it. In Islam is different. According to hadith of Al-Imam Al-Bayhaqi rahimahullah, Prophet Salam has made us to realize that whoever gets married, faqad istakmala nisfa dinihi. Whoever that marries legally, not all this sort of marriage that wife will have been impregnated before the legal marriage. We are not talking about that. You marry legally, you follow Islamic footsteps in getting married. Prophet Salam told us in authentic narration that you have indeed perfected, completed half of your religion. You now need to be conscious of Allah. You now need to fear Allah as regards the remaining half. When scholars, when they were explaining this hadith, they made us to realize a lot of things. Number one, فَقَدْ اسْتَكْمَلَ نِصْفَ دِينِهِ. What do we really mean by half of your religion? Not half of your life. Only Allah knows how many years we still spend after your marriage. We are not talking about your life. We are talking about your religion. Once you have got married legally, you have perfected half of your religion. The other half, some scholars said, they have to do with children and how to relate with your wife. Are we together? You have already married, that is half. The other half is what follows. In Yoruba proverb, they will say that àti fẹ́yàwó ò tẹ́jọ́ owó ọbẹ̀ ló ṣe kíni o ló ṣòro. The people will still say ntí ń bẹ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀fà ju kíni lọ èje lọ. The issue is not even the marriage itself, but what follows. Marriage, the way it can be your ticket, your license to paradise, at the same time it can be your automatic certificate of hell. That is why we need to be conscious. Likewise, things are not the way we normally view them. You know, people, by the time you see people, especially after this NYC now, those who have not even got married, I know all of us, one of our, aims and objectives is that we want to get married after NYC for those who have not got married. Sincerely, by the time you start collecting invitation, brother Alagbaja will serve together, is doing Nekah by April, another one by May. You feel like, well, long, will I still fast this Ramadan without any wife? You feel disturbed. Sincerely, what is after marriage is more than marriage itself. That is why we need to be very, very conscious of how to even, find our own befitting shoe. Now, the other things in Islam, we need to really understand that number one, Nikah, marriage in Islam, is an act of worship. And that act of worship will be enjoyed probably if you get a right person. Prophet Salam in authentic hadith he said, "Ad-dunya mata' wa khayru mata'iha al-mar'atu salihah." This world is full of enjoyment. People, by the time you want to enjoy our life, you see people, they will go to Tantalizer, they will go to Mr. Biggs, they will go to ShopRite, and what have you. Some people, they will even go to hotel to perpetrate evils, to drink alcohol, to involve in illicit sexual relationship. But when we are talking of the best means of enjoyment in this world, is al-mar'atu as-salihah, a pious wife, a righteous woman that will be your wife. If really you want to enjoy this your half of religion, you can only enjoy it if you really find your own befitting shoe we are talking about. In discussing this, I have certain subtopics I want to focus, and I want us to follow the subtopics one after the other. Number one, in Islam, if you want to get, I will start from brothers. You want to marry. What are the qualities? Ma hiya sifat al-matluba fi zawja. By the time you want to get married, what are the qualities, the features you are expected to look for in finding your own befitting shoe we are talking about? By the time you put on shoe that is not your own size, there will be problem. By the time you are walking, either you not walk smartly, where you are supposed to reach the next 2 hours, sincerely the next 6 hours, you may not get there. That's problem. By the time the wife you get married to is not your own choice or your own right person, sincerely there will be problems. Likewise, by the time you do not get that al-mar'atu as-salihah we are talking about, you may even be, your marital life will be boring. That can still affect your spirituality. The way you worship Allah will be affected because of that bad wife you get married to. Do you know, inshallah, if time permits, I will give instances of some companions who got married to righteous wives and those who were not all that fortunate. If time permits, I will give maybe 2-3 instances. You know what we are really trying to talk about. If that is the issue, scholars have listed a lot of qualities we need to look for. But let me put it like this before I start listing the qualities. In this world, there is nothing that is perfect. We only try to manage situations. Don't think you are looking for angels as wives. You can't even see angels as wives. Don't look for sinless sisters. Don't look for sisters who are perfect. You can't even get any. You need to really understand that Prophet Salam has told us that women, they were created from left ribs. By the time you are struggling to make the hand, even that is a even crooked one, not the one that is well straightened. By the time you are attempting to straighten them, kasaritaha wa kesiruha tolakuha. Do you know what will happen? You break it. Breaking it means you will never get married in your life. That is the way Allah has created all women. In fact, those who have married 2-3 wives, they will appreciate that. You will see your first wife, she will be good in some aspects. She will be deficient in others. Imagine a wife who is very good when it comes to, good relationship with husband. Anytime you travel, she can even call you 20 times. You told Ibadan, Abeokuta. By the time you come from journey, you will see very hot kissing. She will give you. But when it comes to cooking food, the food will be salty. You will hate your life. Oh my God. You manage her in that aspect. Probably you can see trainer. I'm coming to that. Asayu fi Islamic zawja is a topic here. By the time you marry another wife, that one is very good when it comes to, preparing delicious meals. But she's not all that obedient. By the time you tell her, don't do this, why will you now be insulting me like a kid? I'm not a kid, you are a graduate, I'm a graduate. You get it now. But when it comes to preparing food, since by the time you even taste the food, you even forget you are even having some challenges before you enter home. Such is life. Another woman, when it comes to atohara, when it comes to cleanliness, neatness, she's very neat. You can't even perceive any smell in her room. Here is another wife. Even she can even fart 10 times within 2-3 minutes. Not only that, she will not even take proper care of the room. You see the bed, very dirty. You see the room, very dirty. Pots, very dirty. Serving plate, very dirty. Will you, because of that, divorce her? No. We need to understand first, before I start mentioning some characteristics or features, qualities we need to look for in righteous women. That doesn't mean they will be perfect. That's number one. That doesn't mean they will not have their own deficiencies. I'm not saying that. But looking for those qualities will make our marriage sincerely to achieve a lot. Will make our marriage to last longer. Will make our marriage, people will be envious of our marriage because they will see this husband and wife, the way they live. That is what scholars normally call al-kafa'a, compatibility. Al-kafa'a. That is why, having understood this, don't look for a sister that is perfect. Or don't even make your qualities to be as if you are a prophet of God. And you are now looking for a woman that will be very closer to you in rank. No, it shouldn't be like that. Number two, let us understand. No matter how pious, how righteous a woman you want to marry is, know for sure that doesn't, debar both of you from having conflicts even after marriage. Looking for all these qualities, that doesn't mean having look for 29 or 1 million qualities in her. She's this, she's that, she's very this, she's very. That doesn't mean you won't have clashes. You won't have discord after marriage. Do you know why I've even said all this as preambles? Because some people, they will capitalize on those qualities, forgetful that no human being is perfect. According to hadith of Aisha and Hafsa, let me use the hadith. Prophet Sallam, he got married to Aisha through Allah's intervention and instruction. According to numerous authentic narrations from Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, Tabrani, a lot of numerous hadith, angels, they show the picture of Aisha radiyallahu anha to Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Adhihi iya zawjatuka fi dunya wal akhirah. This is your wife in this world and in the hereafter. Can you see the marriage sanctioned by Allah from the heaven? Do you expect such marriage to have, discord, to have misunderstanding, to have problems? I'm asking. Please, do we expect such marriage to have problems? Marriage sanctioned by Allah from the heaven. Despite that, there were challenges. Let me give you just only 3. The time of Qissatul Ifki, story of false accusation, when the hypocrites, they falsely accused our beloved mother Aisha radhiyallahu anha that she committed illicit sexual act. Prophet Sallam was disturbed. He knew that he married Aisha as a virgin. He knew Aisha would never commit such illicit act. But Allah did not reveal Quranic verse either to support or against. Prophet Sallam, he now maintained his neutrality to the extent that Aisha left Prophet Sallam's house for Abu Bakr's house, her father. It was after Allah revealed Surah to Nur to exonerate Aisha that Aisha now came back to the house of the Prophet. If something like that happens to our family, our marriage, do you know the way some of us will react? We feel like no, it should lead to divorce. This was a marriage sanctioned by Allah from the heaven, that this is your wife in this world, and the Prophet was patient. He was patient enough. Another issue, there was a day Prophet and Aisha, they had misunderstanding. That is in book Tufatul Arus of Al-Istanbuli. It's authentic narration. Abu Bakr was now invited to come and settle the dispute between Aisha and the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By the time Abu Bakr came in, he approached his own daughter Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, that I learned you and the Prophet, you have misunderstanding. Okay, can you tell me what led to that? Do you know what Aisha said? I will not be the first person to talk. Let Prophet Salam talk first. She now said, Wala taqul illa lahaqqa. You Prophet, do not tell lies, so say the truth. Abu Bakr was very aggressive. Ya adwata nafsiha. You Aisha, are you enemy of yourself? What's your problem? See the way you are addressing the Prophet of God. You know, at times you see all these big people that people will respect outside to their wife. Well, like they are like this. See Buhari now. See Buhari. To Aisha, Buhari is just because they have everything together. President is on the way. Governor is this. So he's like, okay, that is. Abu Bakr was very aggressive. The Prophet of God that we respect. See the way you are talking to the Prophet of God. Prophet said, no problem. Let me talk first. And Abu Bakr wanted to beat Aisha. Father wanted to beat his own daughter. Prophet he said, no. We have not invited you to beat my wife for me. You have to settle this. That shows that Abanja be kasekini o, be kakuko. Despite this dispute, conflict, Prophet said, beat the lot of her head. No, he cautioned Abu Bakr. You have not been invited to come and beat my wife in my presence. This was a marriage sanctioned by who? Allah. There were still clashes. There were still differences. There was still discord. If that is the issue, mentioning millions of qualities, that doesn't mean there won't be problems in our marriages. But what we are only trying is that having looked for those qualities sincerely, this world and hereafter is ascertained. By the time you look for some qualities in a woman, you will know that, alhamdulillah, this woman cannot cause you to enter hell. By the time you do not look for some of these qualities, in fact, you may not even have any problem in your marital life. You may not even have any encounter, any challenge, because the wife is dragging you to hell. And you will feel comfortable. You feel happy. When both of you even collect ticket of hell one day. That is why we need to really understand. Mentioning some qualities doesn't mean there won't be clashes or problems. So let us understand that. Number 3, before I start mentioning some of those qualities, if it happens that one has even got married and his own wife doesn't possess all these qualities, that doesn't mean you should divorce her. You can still work. I'm coming to how to even rectify that. There is a topic here, asayu fi islahil mar'a. How can you work, to correct, to upgrade status of your wife as far as religion is concerned if she is deficient in some qualities? May Allah assist us. Now, number one, if you want to marry a sister, make your first quality ad-din religion. Marry a religious sister. When we are talking of religion, religion is something that is very wide. Which aspect of religion you want to focus on? We need to focus on 3 to 5 aspects. Please let us follow. Number one, by the time you want to marry a sister, look for her aqidah to her. What is her beliefs? What is her beliefs? By the time we are talking about aqidah, it is aqidah that will make one to enter paradise. It is aqidah that will make that wife to train your children in line with Islamic tenets. It is aqidah that will make that wife to know that Allah is with her, with his knowledge. It is aqidah that will teach her how to be obedient to the husband. It is aqidah that will make her subservient to Almighty Allah. It is aqidah that will make her to be self-contented with the little. It is aqidah that will turn her to a complete Muslimah. Aqidah to her. When we are talking of religion, what are the beliefs of that woman or that sister you want to get married to? We need to be conscious of this. Under this aqidah, arkanul iman are sita. The 6 articles of faith. Does it believe in oneness of Allah? There are some ladies today, they use hijab, but their belief is a distorted one. Is a sister that believes that Allah is everywhere or Allah is everything. Wahdatul wujud. There are some Muslims, their own belief is that everything is Allah. This fan is Allah, Hua. This my phone, Hua. This pen, Hua. This, everything is Hua. By the time you marry such a sister, there will be problem in your marital life. In fact, your children already, there are problems on ground. If you marry someone who believes in Aqidatul Hulul, it is a distorted Aqidah. Aqidatul Hulul means everything is lawful. That is why you see some Afars, the way they relate with their Muridi, with their Buta Israeli, they are blind followers. In that Aqidatul Hulul, you can marry more than 4 wives. You can marry more than 4 wives. Everything is lawful. They will tell you that niyatul mu'min khairu min amali, that their intention is not to fornicate, is to even, invite a lot of people to the fold of al-Islam. In Aqidatul Hulul, sincerely, I can't fornicate. Fornication is not haram. In Aqidatul Hulul, I know one of them who possess such Aqidah. In fact, if someone dies, you can remove any part of his body and use it for something. For chance, is allowed. If you marry such a wife, she will be fornicating in your absence. If you marry such a wife, she will steal your property. If you marry such a wife, she will do a lot of evils because she believes in what? Aqidatu al-hulul, that everything is lawful. You need to be conscious of the wife you want to marry. Our doctrines, our creed, our beliefs. That's number one, under a religion. Number 2, ibadatuha, our worship. If a woman is religious, it is time for salat, she will not go and pray. She will still be chatting on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on Togo, to hell, to Jahannam. She will not go and pray at the right time. That is not a religious woman we are talking about. It is time for Ramadan. In fact, one of our brothers, he later divorced the woman. All of us, we have even done a lot of things. We later observed that the best thing is for both of you to separate. Imagine a woman who is using complete hijab and she will not fast in Ramadan. She will not fast. She will say, give another time, why are you now policing me in everywhere? The way I was brought up, I was not trained to be fasting. And hijab was very easy for her. By the time you look at hijab alone, you don't know whether she worships Allah. How will I be fasting? My wife is not menstruating. She's not nursing a child. She's not pregnant in such a way that she can't fast. There is nothing, there is no excuse for her not to fast, and she's not fasting. Will I feel happy? I can even develop hypertension. How will I feel? How will you, these are realities. There are certain problems that some people, in fact, only Allah knows their lifespan. They may even die young because of the problems they are encountering through their life. You need to look at her ibadah, acts of worship. Is she a wife that normally recites adhkar? She wants to eat. Will she even say any adhkar? She woke up. Will she even say any adhkar? Adhkar sabah wal masa. Adhkar, we are recommended adhkar for morning and evening. Will she even say all this? You need to look at that. Apart from that, this is a wife that will not even observe tahajjud except in Ramadan. Even in Ramadan, she will not even observe tahajjud. You look at her obligatory acts of worship. Is she doing that? Then apart from obligatory acts of worship, does she have other supererogatory acts of worship like reciting Suratul Kahf on Fridays? You get it now? Like reading Quran. Like doing so many other things. We need to look at this under religion. Ibadah to her. That's another issue we need to look at. Number 3, under a religion we are talking about is khuluquha, ad-din, our morals, behaviors, conducts. Under this aspect, scholars have listed more than 20 good conducts that a good wife should possess. But this now, what I want to derive at, I will tell you. For you to know whether a sister is religious, sincerely, it's not function of using hijab alone. You need to verify through people who are very close to her. There are some brothers, they see a sister, extremely beautiful, very marvelous, very angelic, very unique. They will not even make any research on her akidah, on her ibadah, and on her conduct. And at the end of the day, they will regret. So we need to be conscious of this. Under conduct, there are certain things a good Muslim should possess. Let me just list maybe 3, 4, 5 because of the time. Under our conduct, number 1 is the issue of what? Sabruha. If you want to marry a sister who is very patient, who can endure. Our mother, Aisha radiyallahu anha, she narrated an authentic narration that it happened. The house of the Prophet, they did not even cook any food for 2 months, 2 consecutive months, 60 days. What were they eating? Date seed, tamru, and probably milk. Tamru, I think we know tamru. Someone like me, if I consume 50 tamru, it's refreshment for me. I can't count it as a food. How will I count tamru as food? Me that I'm from Yoruba land. Until I eat amala, eba, yam, all this now. How will I take tamru in Ramadan? In fact, in Ramadan, we normally do some iftar when Arome was very functional here in Nigeria before they frozen their account during the regime of Obasanjo. Arome, they have a lot of mosques in Ibadan. They will bring those tamru from Saudi. In fact, some of us, they will give us parts of that tamru. I can eat more than 20 a day. I will not still count that as iftar. I will just count it as refreshment. How will I count tamuru as food? Me, tamuru food. No. Yàwó mi wá wàhálà no food. Tamuru be Igbo. If you have taken 20 tamuru the other time, that should be okay till sawu. Till what? Ọ̀fẹ́ pààyàn ó ló pe èèyàn lọ́rùn. Sincerely, I can't count it as food, refreshment. That was the food taken in the household by the household of Rasulullah for complete 60 days, 2 months. If your wife is not patient, wallahi there will be problems. I went for a lecture in Ramadan at Modakeke. A question was posed to me that a woman, a Muslim woman, left her husband because the state government there at Osun State did not pay salary for 6-7 months. Then I don't know whether they have paid it or not. So with all this money Buhari is releasing, but in the hereafter, all these are our leaders too, and they will be accountable by Allah. They said that one said, no, I can't be patient again. I've suffered for more than 6 months. She left the husband. Not that husband was lazy, not that husband was irresponsible. Husband was highly responsible, but the salary was not paid and did not have any other source of income. The wife left the husband. If you marry such wife, you regret, you cry. You that you have been thinking, I have the wife that will prepare sahur and iftar for me, you prepare it yourself. You yourself, you stay on your bed for a longer time and you see you have psychological disturbance. Sincerely, you need to look for sobruha, a woman that is patient, that can endure. That's number one. When we are talking of conduct, you know, I'm still on quality one. What's that quality? Religion. I'm talking about deen. And under deen, I said there are three basic things we need to look for. Beliefs, that is akida. Ibadah, that is what? Acts of worship. Then number three is khuluk, that is conduct, behavior. I'm still on quality because I have some other qualities I will mention. Under this conduct, tawaduha, you need to marry a woman that is very humble. That is what? Humble. She will be humble to you as your husband. You know, the way Allah has created this world, we men, we normally feel that we have arrived. We are leaders, and that's what Allah even called us. Arijalu qawwamuna ala nisa. By the time you have an arrogant wife, wallahi, you hate yourself. You that you will command people in your office, Mr. Laisi, go and bring that file for me. They will bring it, and you feel like oga. Mr. Agini, please go and switch on the generator. There is no light. Mr. Blah blah, go and buy this for me at this. You feel comfortable. What of your wife? If your wife is not humble, you are doomed. You need to look for a woman that is very, very humble. That is why I'm advising my sisters, don't be arrogant. I normally tell sisters in some of their fora, we have handled lectures, that no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how rich you are, be humble to your husbands. That will make you to be successful in this world and even the hereafter. You know what I've observed? The so-called Western education, it normally makes us to be arrogant. I don't know our problem. You see, some women, they will be feeling like this. What's your problem? You have learned to assist Islam, not to be arrogant to your husband. I don't know, that's the way we were brought up. When we were in secondary school, we were told to go and learn to assist Islam. Someone like me, I wouldn't have studied Arabic and Islamic studies. I was a commercial student. If you go to and check my result, I have all this biology, I have commerce, I have accounting, I have all these subjects. It was later I changed to art that I wanted to go and study Arabic and Islamic studies. The first job I did then, I even wrote down to study economics and political science in university. It was one of our teachers who changed our that some of you can even go for Islamic studies, because I know people normally have that inferiority complex that how will I go and study Arabic and Islamic studies. These are our oga when we are at the University of Ilorin, Barrister Tolani. Then you will see them working everywhere, HVJ, PVJ. You see, they will not even, alhamdulillah today now they have achieved. When they were in the school, you don't even know whether they are students or they are even freelance students. You don't even know whether they were even studying or they were even for humanitarian or charitable services there. When some of us we were busy taking people at this in our Usorfu and what have you. Alhamdulillah today, wallahi, if I study medicine, I will not be happy the way I'm happy to be. If I studied law, I will not be happy the way I'm happy today. Alhamdulillah. You get it now. By the time people they have arrived, you see some wives, they will feel like they have achieved. They possess this certificate and they will be arrogant to their husband. Sincerely, you will have problems. You as brothers, marry sisters that are very, very humble. Not only you, they will even be humble to your parents. What of if your parents, they don't know how, they can't read, they can't write, and your wife is even laughing. I remember me saying gi. Mami you tie man kan pe. Mami you olodo dedere. How will you feel if your wife is even making jest of your mother? But if your wife is very humble, we know some sisters like that. They are not arrogant with all the certificates they possess. In fact, they were very submissive to their in-laws. Please look for a woman that is what? Humble. We are talking about, I'm still on quality one, adin, under conduct. Quality 3, you need to look for under, I've talked about sabrua, patience and endurance. Number 2, I'm talking about humility. Then number 3 is what? Hayau. Modesty. By the time you want to marry, please look for a sister that is very modest in her utterances, Modest in her dressing, modest in the way she does things. When we are talking of modesty, al-haya khairun kullu. By the time you are, it's different from shyness. That modesty is the way you do everything. You know, there are some people, they are not modest enough. By the time you marry them, sincerely you may regret doing so. Let us be very conscious of this. This is one of the qualities we need to be conscious of while looking for wife. Let me just leave those three because I'm coming to sisters too. Quality number 2. I've left number 1. Number 1 is what? Adino, religion alone. And before I leave, let me read what Sheikhul Islam Ibn al-Qayyim, not Ibn Taymiyyah this time, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, what he said. In Zadul Ma'ad of Al-Allama Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he said, فَالَّذِي يَقْتَدِي حُكْمُهُ صلى الله عليه وسلم اعتبار الدين في الكفاءة أصلا وكمالا فلا تزوج مسلمة بكافر ولا عفيفة بفاجر ولم يعتبر القرآن والسنة في الكفاءة أمرا وراء ذلك. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, he was saying, after he had brought a lot of arguments by scholars, he said what Prophet Sallam, what he recommended, the basic, the fundamental feature recommended by Prophet Sallam is nothing but what? Religion, ad-din. And that religion entails your belief, your worship, and your what? Your behavior. Let us take note of this. Number 2, by the time you want to marry, my dear brothers in Islam, it is better you look for this second quality, at-ta'a. What did I call it? At-ta'a, obedience. A sister who is obedient. Or a sister who is what? Obedient. Allah in Surah An-Nisa, starting from that verse 34, 35, 36, where Allah was talking about certain things about men and women. Allah says, Fasalihatu qanitat. Fasalihatu qanitat. That righteous women, pious wives, they are the ones that are qanitat. What is meaning of qanitat? Al-Hafidh Ibn Kathir rahimahullah in his tafsir, he said, Moti'at li awamiri la'i wa awamiri azwajihinna. By the time you want to marry, look for women who follow Allah's dictates, wa azwajihinna, and they are obedient to their husband. They are obedient to Allah. Likewise, they are what? Their husbands. These are pious, righteous women we are to marry. For you to understand this better, you know the nature of Allah is that you as your husband, you command. When there is commandment and there is no obedience, do you think that commandment will hold? It will never hold. It will never hold. You need to look for a sister who is obedient. That will make your marriage to be successful, to be lively. There won't be much problems in your family. Where the wife is not obedient, there will be a lot of problems. In fact, you as husband, you may even be implicated by that such disobedient wife. Let us look for this. That's another issue we need to be conscious of. Number 3, you need to look for a wife. This one, please let us understand it. I'm reading from what scholars have said. I'm not talking from my own volition or my own desire. It's better you look for bikron, a virgin. A what? A what? A virgin. But some scholars, they said afifa. Let me differentiate and I will explain. Some scholars, they emphasize that you marry both bikran wa afifa. Some said it is not necessary she's bikru. If she's afifa, it's okay. Let me explain. A bikru, a woman, a sister who has never fornicated in her life, who has never been defiled by any man in her life, marry such sister. Jabir bin Abdullah radiyallahu anhu, when he got married, Prophet Sallallahu was asking him, which kind of woman did you get married to? He mentioned Fayyib. that the woman I got married to is not a virgin. She's like a widow. And Prophet said, Allah bikron, Allah bikron. Why didn't you marry a virgin? A woman who has never involved in sex in her life. Tula'ibuha wa tula'ibu. You play with her, she will play with you. Tudahikuha wa tudahiku. You know, you make her laugh, she will make you laugh. Scholars, this hadith of Bukhari, they have used this hadith of Jabir. The Prophet ﷺ, even he had preference for marrying virgins. And one will be surprised, he married only a virgin, Aisha radiyallahu anha. Let us understand, please. Some other scholars, they now argued that what matters most is a chastity, that is al-iffa. Now let me join both together. What scholars they want us to really understand is that while selecting your own spouse, be careful of some sisters. They are very devilish. The way some brothers are too. I'm coming to brothers too, but I'm talking about sisters now. There are some sisters, they are using hijab. Even some may be using a cup, they be covering their face. But because they have tasted poison, they have tasted what? What did I refer to as poison? Illicit sexual act. By the time, the nature of human beings, we compare, yes or no? Yes or no? By the time you eat a food today, when we were students, by the time you go to this cafeteria today, mama you like ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ju mama eléyìí lọ. Wàhálà ìjẹ mama yìí wàhálà ìkíni mama. There was a man in our university then. Anytime she is absent, she did not come to the university, there are problems. Mama yìí ọkọ̀ dáná lónìí. Mama yìí ó fẹ́ mi pa wá o. Because we have tasted varieties of taste. That will make you to just suppose, okay, no, this one is like this one is like that. It normally affects some sisters. If they later get married to a man that is not as active like those past contacts she had, there may be problem in the marriage. She will now be connecting, and even especially this time around when we have a lot of evils on ground, all this your WhatsApp, Facebook, will let their problems. They are what? Except some of us who may be using it to spread Islam. But even like those who claim they use to spread Islam too, they too, they are still catching some virus. I have a lot of research I've conducted. Even some brothers who claim that their iman is very, very at peak. Shaitan is there haunting all of us. That's why I will not even exonerate myself. I will never exonerate myself. That sister will connect all these past contacts she had. They will be chatting on Facebook, they will be chatting on WhatsApp, Instagram is there, Twitter is there, Togo is there. You see them chatting 24/7, sending pictures. And that's why I do tell people, a sister that cannot even, that will be passwording the phone for you, you do not deserve to marry such sister. Yes, I don't password my phone for my wife. I don't have any skeleton in the car. Even my students, they normally have access to my phone. My workers, I have a school in Ibadan, Mufliun High School. My staff, I will list my phone, they will use, I normally have data on my phone. Even I have more than 10 gig now on my phone. I will list my phone for them, they will use the hotspot to browse with my phone. I've never said, bring my phone, go check. I don't have any skeleton in the cupboard, check my phone. The only thing you can see is some people may keep their secret with me. That's the only thing you can see. You can't see a girl that I will be chatting with. You can't see a situation where I will be discussing evils with girl. Check my phone, check my Facebook, check my WhatsApp, check where my Gmail, check my Yahoo. You can't see anything implicating there. You see a situation where the wife is even hiding the phone for the husband. You need to suppress such wife. You get it now? You need to be careful. What scholars are emphasizing, a woman that loses that chastity in her, you need to be careful of her. A woman who has lost her dignity and she is not even ready to be reformed, don't marry such sisters. But what of incarnate koditabat? What of if she has repented? and she is reformed, there is no doubt about that, you can marry her. Do you get what I'm trying to pass across? She has, maybe lived a life of jahiliyyah before. Now she has repented. She is no more fornicating around. She is no more aborting. She is no more doing all sorts of evils. You can marry her. But what of a woman who is still, repeating such evils? Sincerely, there will be a problem in your marital life. I heard the news, I think it even happened here in Ogun State. Maybe last 2 or 3 years, a woman who dragged her husband to court that all the 4 children she gave birth to, he was not the father, that the legal father is Mr. So. The news even happened here in Ogun State now. I heard it when I was at Ibadan. Then maybe last 2 or 3 years. The news is here on the internet. How will you feel if at the end of the day you later realize that your wife has given birth to 7 children and all these 7 children, they are not your children, and you have spent on them, even maybe 2 or 3 of them, they are graduates. You have more than hypertension. Your own will be hypertension next. There will be problems. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we need to maintain our chastity, please, for Allah's sake. Don't let us be after, some of us, we might have had some bad past. Please try to erase them. Don't even be persistent in committing evils. All these evils, they have a lot of negatives on your marriage in the future. But once you are reformed, you have repented, Allah has forgiven you, there is nothing bad. You can marry such woman. Because of time, let me go to brothers. I have some other things, but I will not even be able to say it because of the time. Now, my dear sisters in Islam, you too, you want to look for your own befitting shoe, you need to be extraordinarily careful. Even your own, you should be more careful than brothers. Do you know why? If in the first instance, they made an error in choosing their shoe, and the shoe is not befitting, they can still adjust it. Do you know what I mean? They can adjust it. They can still be managing that shoe that is not befitting, and they will now look for another befitting shoe to make it 2 shoes. So in some occasions, they will take shoe A. In some occasions, shoe what? Shoe B at the same time. And it's legal in Islam. But you can't take 2 shoes at a time. You can't marry 2 husbands. It's only one husband that goes or he dies or what have you. If that is the issue, how do you look for that your own befitting shoe? Scholars have listed a lot of things here. Let me just maybe 3 or 5. The issue of religion I raised the other time is applicable to you too. You look for a brother who is sound in terms of Aqidah, who is sound in terms of Ibadah, who is sound in terms of what? Good conduct. Let me tell you, there are a lot of brothers, they are very, very corrupt. I know, I'm a brother too. There are some brothers, they even use religion to deceive sisters. I swear by Allah, I've seen cases, not a case, not 2 cases, I've seen cases where some brothers, they even deceive sisters with religious appearance, physical aspect of religion, but internally they have not internalized Islam the way it is ought to be internalized. Don't be deceived that you see me, I have beard, I'm having jumping trousers. No, you need to make some verifications about me. Have you seen a situation, even a case? I'm handling a case presently. Before I left Ibadan today, the brother has even called me. He said he wanted to come, and because I've told him that this is your issue, I'm able to take it to one radio station over there in Ibadan, Peters FM, where they normally say that I hate issue being broadcast on air. Imagine a brother who is beard with jumping trousers, fornicating with a sister using hijab and telling her to go and abort. How will you feel? It is shaitan. We are not angels. We are all human beings. We need to be careful. By the time you want to marry, you look for religion too. My dear sisters, a brother who is religious, a brother who is sound in terms of worship, a brother who is morally upright, you need to look for that. Number 2, that's why Prophet Salam in hadith of Tirmidhi, that idha atawkum wa fi riwayat idha khataba ilaykum idha ja'akum man taridawna dinahu wa khuluquhu fazawiju. Prophet Salam in this hadith of Tirmidhi, scholars they are having divergence on whether the hadith is authentic or da'if, but some scholars they authenticated it, that if a man that is religious and is morally sound comes, he approaches you, he wants to marry your daughter, please try to give a hand out to the brother. Prophet Salam mentioned two fundamental qualities: ad-dinu wal khuluq, religion and moral uprightness. Number two, my dear sisters, if you want to marry a brother, it is better an yakuna rafiqan bil lisa, a brother that will be caring, a brother that will be lenient with you. That's why I do tell some brothers when they are misbehaving publicly. One day you want to approach a sister, and sometimes they say brother tí mo dájú wà ní program wẹ́n fẹsẹ̀ sọ ọmọ ẹni tí mo dá gbogbo program òru nígbà tá a fi wà ní school. Ìyàwó ti á yí padà ní ìsìn no. You know, if you want to marry, that shows is more than physical appearance alone. We need to make some investigations about someone you want to marry. It's a life contract. It's not something I see you, hey, I love you Tori Tono, you are this, you are that, you are the sugar of my tea, you are the microphone of my engine, you are the fan of my room, oh. You are the generator of my electricity. That's your problem. Oh. You need to make some investigations. Prophet Salam even encouraged that in numerous ahadith. Now, under these issues, scholars they use hadith. The hadith they use is hadith where Prophet Salam he was narrated hadith of Abu Jahm and Muawiyah. There was a woman, Fatima bint Qais, in the time of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Two companions they approached her. They wanted to marry her. She reported the case to the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We need to even learn. You sisters, you need to learn from this hadith of Fatima. You know at times the issue of marriage is not secret affair. It's not something where most of you pay me at let it be secret between me and you. No, that affair is illegal affair. I want to marry you. Why should I make it secret? That shows I'm having skeleton in my combo. No, you need to escalate it. You need to make some investigations, some verifications. The only thing may be because of this, because of that. Not that you make it confidential, you make it secret. No, it's marriage. It's life contract. You make verifications, you make investigations. Fatima now came to the Holy Prophet ﷺ that two of your companions, they approached me. Inna Muawiyah wa Abu Jahm khotobani. Muawiyah and Abu Jahm, they approached me. They wanted to marry me. And Prophet ﷺ said, let me tell you, that Abu Jahm, scholars have given this at these 2 minutes, and I will give both minutes. He said, La yabawu asawu an atikihi. That Abu Jahm is a man. You know, he normally has his own stick on his shoulder. He will have his own cane, his own stick on his shoulder. Scholars, they gave it 2 minutes. That number one, the Rabul in Nisa. He beat women a lot. Anytime you offend Abu Jahm, he will beat a lot of your head. Some said that was the meaning, that he beats women too much. Then number two, he travels a lot. You will not even enjoy your marriage. That is why as a married person, it's not ideal that every time you travel, you leave your wife. Your wife will now even be having psychological problem. You can travel, especially if your work has to do with traveling. But that doesn't mean every time you travel and you leave your wife alone and she will be suffering. You need to be careful. But the most authentic meaning is that he beats a lot. Prophet Salam disqualified Abu Jahm. Abu Jahm was a good companion. Prophet Salam did not mention any defect in his religion. Religiously, he was very, very okay. But morally, he had some deficiencies. Prophet Salam said, do not marry him. What of Muawiyah Fasuluk Lama Lala? Muawiyah is extremely poor. He has nothing to offer. Prophet Salam was not material, because someone has even said one day, no, he was even encouraging materially. I said, that shows you are an ignoramus. Prophet Salam was not emphasizing materialism. What he was saying, go and read story of Fatima bint Qais. She was a rich woman. Prophet was emphasizing compatibility. By the time someone like me marries daughter of Dangote, I don't think I even married daughter of Dangote in my life. By the time she wants to eat in the morning and she spend, let's say, assume 10,000 to buy refreshment, 10,000, which account will I even add that in my income? You know, Prophet was emphasizing compatibility, that Muawiyah, he has nothing to offer. He was very indigent. And Prophet now recommended another companion, Inkehi Usama. Why can't you go and marry Usama? That was Usama bin Zaid. And she got married to Usama, and Allah blessed their marriage. What I want us to understand from this, as sisters, you need to be careful. If a brother is such a brother that he beats a lot, he is always angry. He's not even having listening here at all. He will not listen to you. He is not caring at all. It's advisable he looks for another sister like him. We need to be careful with this. Likewise, an yakuna mustati'an liliba'a binawaiha. By the time you want to get married, you want to find your own befitting shoe, you need to look for a brother who at least he has something called ba'a. According to the hadith of Ya Mashar Shabab, Man istata'a minkum al-ba'a falyatazawwaj. What do we mean by ba'a? Scholars have given different meanings to ba'a. By the time you want to get married to a brother, the brother should at least have something that will serve as source of income. Source of what? Income. You know, we're having some problems nowadays. Even I've witnessed a lot. A lot. You know, some brothers, not that they are not responsible, but they feel like they can't do some jobs. Me as a graduate, how will I be doing this? How will I be doing that? And they have not even secured all this white collar job, and they have got married. They didn't want to fornicate. It's no problem. Why can't you be doing this? At least to have, you know, some people, a brother, a graduate of university, I will not mention the name. I even encourage him, start from teaching. He said, I can't teach. The money they are paying for teachers is too mega. Start from somewhere. How will I be collecting 60,000 naira per month? The money is too small. 60,000 is not too small now. By the time you have spent a year, 2 years, you know, your status has rising. You can even apply to another place. By the time they say you have 2 years teaching experience, your salary will still be higher. And the brother was having problem with his wife. Alongside, a child joined. Alongside, another child. Can you see? Prophet said, you, Ya Mashar Shabab, Man istata'a minkum al-ba'a falyatazawwaj. By the time you have ba'a, capability, and scholars have said, number one, when we are talking of ba'a, the first meaning is house. You need to have your own separate room where you keep wife. That's why I do tell people, it's not advisable in Islam. Go and read what scholars have said. You want to do akdu nekah, you don't have your own separate room. It's not advisable. The meaning of akdu nekah is that you and your wife, you are lawful to each other. You can have halal sexual intercourse and you will still be rewarded. Now you did akdu nekah today, no room to even enjoy your life, no room to even be in privacy with your wife. Which kind of akdu nekah is that? You need to have your separate room. Scholars only use ba'a for manzil. By the time you get married, you have your own separate room. It's one of the ba'a we are talking about. Number two is quwwatul ijma. You have that sexual ability. You should be able to satisfy her sexually. So that's one of the meaning of ba'a. Another meaning of ba'a is what? Is to have sababu theriwa, a means through which at least you can get your own livelihood. You know, companions, some of them, they were farmers, some were this, some were that. In fact, those who were alu sufa, who did not even get any job, other companions, they were assisting them. But you can't see a companion that was very lazy, that was indolent, that was jobless. We need to even really understand on this aspect of al-ba'a. Likewise, under ba'a is al-mahar, a brother that will be able to give you your mahar before you even become his wife. These are some of the things scholars they have said. Likewise, another issue is that by the time you want to marry, you need to look for a brother who is what? Who is amilan liqadrin min kitabillahi azza wa jalla sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A brother, at least, no matter how small it is, he should be able at least to know something from the Quran and Sunnah. You know the way Allah has made, by the time you get married now, it will be difficult for wives to be interacting with what? With other men the way she was before getting married. In fact, that may even affect your marital life. The husband will now be suspecting you. You know that I was asking them about the idol. Why can't you ask me? That is why some husbands, they are deficient in that aspect. Their wife will want to ask questions, they will not give them time. Or by the time you do not know it, you can ask, your wives can give you questions. By the time you reach Ustadh Lagbaja or so lecture, ask this question for me. That's part of your responsibilities towards your husband. You do that. We need to be conscious of the level of knowledge of the bride we want to marry in such a way that it will not even render us useless as far as Islamic knowledge is concerned, finally, because of the time. If it happened that you have got married and some of these qualities are missing in your husband or your wife, scholars have said the next thing is not divorce. The next thing is not having problems with each other. The next thing is asayu fi islahi azawj. We will now struggle towards reviving, reforming our wife or our husband. What are the steps we can take in that? That's what I will round up the lecture with. Number one is what? The issue of al-musahaba. Al-musahaba, companionship. By the time you observe that the wife you got married to, she lacks a lot of things, you look for a good company of virtuous women that are knowledgeable, that are pious, that are righteous, that are obedient, that are humble, that are morally upright. You let your wife move closer, keep their company. You know, but Prophet said us in hadith of Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi, ar-rajulu ala dini khalili falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil. You know, human being by nature, you follow the footstep of your bosom friends. If that is the issue, if it is your husband that is deficient in some areas, you can talk to him to move closer to company of righteous brothers. Through that, sincerely, he will learn. Through that, he will keep on changing small. It is not a day or a week or a month or a year affair. As time goes, he will be improving. As time goes, she will be improving. That's number one. Then number two, if your wife is deficient in a particular aspect, scholars have said another way of reforming or correcting such is by attaching her to someone that has such quality he or she is deficient in. What do I mean? Your own wife, in terms of moral aspect, she is deficient. You can look for someone who is morally upright. You attach her with such person. Your husband, he is deficient, probably in ibadah aspect. He doesn't even observe salat regularly. Probably he doesn't even read Quran. Probably he doesn't even fast in Ramadan. You attach him with a brother who is very sound in that aspect. That's another issue. Number three is the issue of al-muraqaba wal-muhasaba. The issue of evaluation, self-evaluation and self-supervision. How do we do that? Your wife is deficient in a particular aspect. Likewise, your husband. You can correct that through evaluation. In this our family, we don't normally fast on Mondays and Thursdays. Every week, evaluate yourself. Okay, we fasted on Monday. We did not fast on Thursday. Okay, next week, we will fast on Thursday. We will not fast on Monday. As time goes, through evaluation, you are evaluating yourself. The husband is evaluating himself. Sincerely, you see your household keeping on improving. You did not resort to the calf last week Friday. Through your evaluation, you will know both of you are deficient there. This coming Friday, how do you achieve that? Through evaluation. Both of you have not been observing tahajjud after Ramadan. After what? Ramadan. Through evaluation, you can be able to see what are the problems. Maybe your problems are too much. Maybe you are such that you chat, browse till around 1 a.m. Before you go and sleep. You will not even be able to wake up for tahajjud. Maybe you are the one that watch all this all these India films before you sleep, and you even be dreaming. Even anytime you want to wake up, it will be difficult for you. Maybe you are sinning to Almighty Allah. According to Imam Al-Hassan Al-Basri, by the time you are sinning to Allah, you are committing sins, you will want to wake up in the night, it will be very, very difficult for you. Allah will not make it possible for you. Maybe you are sinning in your family, or your husband is getting money through unlawful means. You try to evaluate yourself. Through evaluation, sincerely, there won't be problem. Finally, it's repentance to Allah. Areas where both of you are deficient, you repent. The husband, there is nothing bad. You can even tell your wife, I know I'm cheating you in this aspect. Please pardon me. Husband, I'm cheating in this area. Please forgive me. You repent to Almighty Allah and to your partner. By the time you repent, Allah will reform both of you and you live a very lively marital life. And your marriage will even be a marriage that people, they will be envious of. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, that's all.